Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to today's ceremony. This is the Employer Support and the Guard and Reserve Awards ceremony recognizing King County for what they have done and in recognition of King County employees who currently serve in the National Guard and the Reserve. My name is Lieutenant Colonel William Pola. I'm a veteran fellow here for King County in the Department of Public Defense, and I welcome you to today's ceremony. At this time, I'd like you to rise for the presentation of the colors and the Pledge of Allegiance. Since this is an indoor ceremony, those of you in uniform are not required to salute.
Honor guard. Try to post the colors. Hold. See?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Forward.
Please take your seats. Again, I want to thank all of you for attending today's ceremony. First up, we have some opening remarks from, if you look at your program, two people who have chosen to serve who are with King County and with the Guard and Reserve. Unfortunately, Michelle Helpenstell is unable to join us today, so I will take this opportunity now to introduce to you First Lieutenant Eric Campbell.
Good day, thank you. I'm a young old man, blessed and privileged to be a 39-year-old executive officer for Bravo Troop 1303rd Cavalry Regiment, 41st Infantry Brigade Combat Team in the Army National Guard. When I told my friends and family that I was taking a 36-week sabbatical from work to complete basic combat training, officer candidate school, and armor school at 34 years of age, family and friends expressed a little bit of concern and worry. Some, in fact, told me privately I was in a midlife crisis and might recommend I go buy a sports car, a new truck, a motorcycle, or a boat. However, I knew that was a safe play. That would not be taking the hard right over the easy left, and a new toy would not mask my greater yearning to give back to the community. One cannot go out and buy or lease the honor and privilege of leading men and women in uniform. You got to earn it. I love all my soldiers, warts and all. Why? I chose them as my family, and hence they will always hold a special place in my heart. I am not gifted nor afforded any special talent. I am merely a product of unconditional supportive teams in my life. The home team, consisting of my wife and family, has exhibited tremendous understanding as I've missed birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays, and will continue to miss more with my upcoming deployment. I want to thank my family for their love and sacrifice. To all the soldiers that train and work tirelessly in austere conditions for this deployment, living the cavalry soldier standing order to always care for your brethren, maintain your horse, your equipment, and then care for yourself, you soldiers are the most noble and pious Americans I know. For this deployment, I am simply a caretaker to accomplish the mission and get you back home safe. I'm a function of the unwavering support I receive from my work team at Public Health Seattle King County Jail Health Services, Psych and Social Services Department. There are 33 exceptionally gifted teammates with an infectious commitment to selfless service in the fields of mental health, substance use treatment, and social work. I'm enamored with your relentless optimism and tireless idealism while facing what at times seem insurmountable barriers to achieve small victories. You are working in the trenches with the most vulnerable populations in an environment that only a small percentage of people understand. You are all remarkable. I'm honored to collaborate and assist you in the war against mental health, substance abuse, and empowering disenfranchised populations within King County. I thank you for all your patience and understanding as I have my out-of-office automatic reply on frequently in the upcoming months for pre-deployment and then for a solid year. You all cover down on my workload, setting me up for success. I thank you for your love and support, and will pledge to make sure that I set you up for success while I'm gone. I'd like to thank King County team for providing me 21 days of paid training in a year, in addition to my guard pay, offering to make up the salary and wage difference between my guard and reserve pay for 21 days, and continuing health care benefits while in active duty orders. While in active duty orders in the past, my wife was laid off abruptly and lost health insurance coverage from her employer. Yet King County maintained her health coverage, offering medical coverage to spouses, dependents while I'm deployed, as well as affording me a job when I transition back to civilian life, lessens anxiety while I'm away, and empowers me with the opportunity to focus on mission and welfare of my soldiers. I know that I'm fortunate to work at King County, and many Guard Reserve Component military members are not afforded the same luxury or opportunities. Thank you, King County, and distinguished guests for helping all soldiers.
Thank you, Lieutenant Campbell. At this time, I would like to welcome to the front Phil Sanders, John Patterson, and Larry Kirchner to present the ESGR Awards. Gentlemen.
Thanks, Bill. On my right is Larry Kirchner, Phil Sanders. Some of you may know him. He only spent 29 years with King County prior to now. Thank all of you for being here. This meeting is really unique, and let me tell you why. No public or private enterprise in my 15 years with ESGR has ever had a meeting like this where all the Guard and Reserve employees have been so recognized. This is really unique. It's a first. I hope this idea is transported electronically and through the waves in the air, whatever means possible, for other events. I'd like to highlight a few people today responsible in your own ranks for making this possible. Susan Novetsky, Elizabeth Inglesi, Annalisa Mai, Will Blease, Eric Campbell, and finally, last but not least, the MC, Lieutenant Colonel William Pola, whose last day in service was or will be tomorrow.
Last weekend, sir.
Last weekend?
Absolutely.
Okay. So anyway,
All right.
happy retirement. What we do with ESGR is provide information, education, and mediation, if needed, with employers to try and understand what their civilian soldiers, sailors, guardsmen actually do. The benefits that one receives from the other, the military training benefits the civilian employer and vice versa. And a lot of which the active duty military does is actually accomplished a lot faster and better by the reserve. Example, in your midst today is a young Marine named Ahmed. He said when he transferred from the active duty Marine Corps to the reserve unit where he is now at Fort Lewis, or GBLM in today's terminology, The active duty Marines have no concept of what the Marines do. Here's one example. The Marine Corps rifle qualification takes 2 weeks. Reserves do it in 2 days, equally if not better. That's some of the enhanced training and benefit you get from some of these employees, all of you who are sitting today. So I think all of you should give yourself a hand for being here today. Thank you. So again, this is the first meeting that we've ever been associated with. Information, education, mediation if needed. So we're here to help you. And there's the display information in the back. So now I'm going to sit down and let these gentlemen take care of the awards. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, John. Yeah, I'm Phil Sanders. I did work for King County for 29 years, been retired for 10, been the best 10 years of my life. Sorry. And I know you're in the budget cycle, so I know what a pain that is, so I'm not even going to go there. I want to tell you a little bit about the ESGR Awards Program. We have several awards that we give to employers for supporting their Guard and Reserve members. It starts out with the Patriot Award. Patriot Award is a nomination that is made by a service member for their supervisor or manager as a way of recognizing that they have done more than is normally expected as a supervisor or manager, or they make it easy for them to be in the Guard or Reserve so they don't have to fight to be gone for that training or for that deployment, because frankly they can't fight it. It's law, and that's what ESGR is all about. There's also a Spousal Patriot Award. So if a spouse has a Guard or Reserve member and they feel that they are receiving outstanding support from their supervisor, they can nominate them. There is also the Seven Seals Award. It's awarded to those in recognition of, I'm going to just read this because there's a way of saying it, significant individual or organizational achievement, initiative, or support that promotes and supports the ESGR mission. The next one is the Above and Beyond Award, and that is one that I'm going to be presenting today to King County. It's presented by ESGR state committees to recognize employers at the local level who have gone above and beyond the legal requirements of the Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act by providing their Guard and Reserve members additional non-mandated benefits, such as you receive here: differential or full pay to offset lost wages, extended health benefits, and other similar benefits. There's another award called the Pro Patriot Award. It's given by the state committee. It's given to, again, to the employer that has gone way above and beyond. Then the final one is the Secretary of Defense Support Freedom Award. This is the highest recognition given by the U.S. government to employers for their outstanding support of their Guard and Reserve members. This is another award that starts with a Guard and Reserve member. So a Guard and Reserve member says, man, my employer has gone way beyond what I ever expected. We get nominations. Last year, I believe there were about 2,500. Seems like a big number. It's not. Consider how many companies, public organizations there are in the United States. 2,500 is not very many. So out of those 2,500, we winnow it down to 15. It starts at the state level. We decide who should go forward. Then from there, it's outside of our bailiwick, our hands, to make the decisions. It finally goes before a committee of senior military and Department of Defense officials, and they are the ones that are the deciders as to who will receive the Freedom Award. If you think of Seattle, you might not think there would be too many in Seattle that would win the Freedom Award. We're a very blue state. Well, Amazon received it this year. Boeing has received it in the past. Microsoft, the Port of Seattle, the Seattle Fire Department, Alaska Airlines, and Starbucks are all recipients of the Freedom Award. So we have an outstanding community here of employers who take care of their Guard and Reserve members. And then the last one I'm going to mention is the Honors Award. It's presented to organizations that have been nominated for the Freedom Award but didn't receive it. And also King County is going to be awarded that. So with that, now that you know all about the awards, we'll go into it. You want to go ahead and do yours first? Go ahead. Okay. All right. So the first award that we're going to do is the Patriot Award. And so if I could have Roxy Zhang and Elizabeth and Gracie's come up, please. So, as I mentioned, Elizabeth nominated Roxy for the Patriot Award. So you're thinking, well, what did she do? Why does this happen? So I'm just going to read. There's a nomination process. You do it online. What don't you do online this day and age? And this is what Elizabeth said about her. And by the way, I should be calling her a gunnery sergeant. She's a Marine reservist. My supervisor always accommodates my need to sometimes take days from work in order to fulfill my duty obligations as part of the Marine Corps Reserve. She never questions the nature of my duty or makes me feel as though I'm any less committed to my workplace than other employees because I need to take time away from my service, for my service. She is truly supportive of my service commitments and obligations and never penalizes me for them. I am offered a considerable number of paid days of military leave by my employer every fiscal year, as well as continuation of my military benefits while I'm away serving. So, like I say, this is what you want your employer, your supervisor, your manager to do for a Guard and Reserve member. Make it comfortable for them. Don't make it a difficult thing to be a member of the Guard and Reserve serving your country. So before I present the award, Elizabeth, you want anything?
I want to say thank you so much for supporting. This is Roxy's first time, I think, ever having a Guard or Reserve staff member. So it's definitely been a learning curve for us as far as King County's process and procedures, but she's been so accommodating, and especially being a new employee to King County, I can't get over the overwhelming support from the county as an employer and my little family with KCIT, especially Roxy.
Just so you know what it says Office of the Secretary of Defense Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve recognizes Roxy Zion, King County, as a patriotic employer for contributing to national security and protecting liberty and freedom by supporting employee participation in America's National Guard and Reserve Force. So, Roxy, on behalf of ESGR, please accept this Patriot Award.
Thank you, I'm honored. I'm very proud of Elizabeth and you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
So my name is Larry Kirchner. I am a retired National Guardsman, but also spent 30 years in the employ of King County in the Department of Public Health. So it is a real honor to have the opportunity today to present 2 awards to members of the Seattle King County Department of Public Health. So first of all, First Lieutenant Eric Campbell, would you come forward? And Megan Condon, please come forward. So I won't repeat everything that Phil had to say, but it holds true here. And I'm actually, rather than reading Eric's comments on the nomination form, I wanted to give him an opportunity to express why it was important for him to nominate Megan.
So Megan and I have been working together now extensively for nearly 4 years. And over that course of the time, I've just kind of seen my Guard commitment increase more and more. E4s has gone to MUTA 6s and 8s, 2-week annual training exercise has gone to 3 weeks. Just preparing as you rise through the ranks, just preparing, it's required more and more. And without a doubt, over 4 years, I've gotten absolutely nothing but 100% support as my commitment has increased. Whether it be flexibility to change my schedule, and then sometimes I spend lots of time at Yakima Training Center. We'll go out on 72-hour field exercises, and Megan's my little battle buddy that'll kind of help me when I'm not necessarily thinking of my own safety, when I'm going to drive home on a Sunday night after a little sleep from Yakima, and she'll just be, Eric, just stand by for 4 tents next week, or just make it home safely and get by. So I appreciate that a lot, and the hard work that you have done as far as taking a lot of load off or redispersing work amongst the team. and just spearheading the team, as I know as I'm taking time away from team activities and needs, you kind of just filtering the needs for the team throughout, and I sincerely appreciate that. And you're by far one of the best supervisors I've ever had, so I thank you.
So on behalf of the Department of Defense and really our community, because without the support of employers like Megan, it forces Guard and Reserve members to make a decision on their civilian career and their military career. So without this support, Eric would be having to decide on one career or the other or different employment. So you really do play a hand in our national defense. Eric, I'll let you present that to Megan.
Megan, thank you very much. Once again, a patriotic employer for contributing to national security and protecting liberty and freedom by supporting employee participation in America's National Guard and Reserve Force. Thank you.
I'd just like to take a few moments, and I was just blown away to get nominated for this. Working for, being in public service for the last 25 years in many different frames, currently with public health. Eric, in his role, has been my battle buddy at public health in the jail. And likewise, I am so blown away by the greater commitment, which is the service to our country. And there is no other service. It's a great honor to be a King County employee, a public health employee that provides the benefits and supports for those who are in the greatest service. And to only fulfill that and be in that role is such an honor. So thank you, Eric Campbell, for your service, and to all those here today and everything that you do. Thank you.
Okay. Another award, Major Susan Densmore and Jane Simpson, please come forward. So again, on behalf of the Department of Defense, we want to present Jane Simpson with this Patriot Award. So I'll let you hold that. And you, Susan, wanted to say a couple words.
Yes, thank you, Jane, for giving me the opportunity. So when I applied out for community health, Jane informed me that she didn't have good experience with working with a Reserve Guard member in the past. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to work with you. And also, thank you for being very supportive. So when I was gone for my military, went up to Thailand, from Thailand to military education. Was very supportive, and also last minute the Guards had to serve on the board. Very supportive that you were able to let me go so the board could happen. And then also I didn't get my King County Veterans pin last year, and I informed Jane of that, and she made sure that she got that pin for me right away. So thank you very much. Thank you. Really appreciate working with you. I'm no longer working with her now. I'm back at the jail health services now, but really enjoyed working with you. Thank you for being very supportive.
You're welcome. Susan's right. I was a bit apprehensive when I found out that Susan was in the reserves, but it was such a good experience for me. What I learned was that the skills that Susan brought from her military experience, organization, incredible follow-through and responsibility, really good communication skills were things that were so valuable in the workplace that it more than offset any of the time that she was gone. So it was great for us.
Oh, you're?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Sure. We're going to move on to the Honors Award. This is one of the ones that I mentioned, so I'm not going to go through what it is. So, is the DAJD Deputy Director here? Aha. You were hiding back there. Thank you for coming forward. It's great. So the Honors Award, like I said, I'm not going to tell you, but I'll tell you real quick. It starts with the service member, and it works its way through the Freedom Award. King County was nominated by Michelle Helpenstell, and although they didn't get as far as we hoped that they would, because I was working with Susan on the nomination stuff, it didn't happen. But as I said, 2,500 employers out of the United States that get nominated for this. This puts you in rare, stratosphere. So this says Secretary of Defense Freedom Award 2018 nominee, employer supported Guard and Reserve, honors the King County Department of Adult and Juvenile Detention in recognition of exemplary support of National Guard and Reserve member employees. So, on behalf of ESGR, thank you very much for what you do for your Guard and Reserve employees. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very honored to accept this award on behalf of the Department of Adult and Juvenile Detention. I'm very grateful and very humbled for the nomination that Officer Helpenstall had submitted. And thank you all for all the service you've done to our country. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And our final award is the Above and Beyond Award. And so, is the Deputy Executive Six Killer here with us? Yes, he is. Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Yes. So, the Above and Beyond Award, what does it mean? It's pretty simple. King County goes above and beyond what is expected. Some employers do more. King County does far more, and that makes me really proud because I worked for King County for 29 years. I only knew one Guard member. He was an Air Guard guy. It was during the first time we genned up for war, and he was gone a lot. He was an air crew member, so he was gone, and he was gone at times when it was hard to figure out when he was going to be gone, when he was going to be back. It was just that screwed up. So this is to King County for all that they do for their service members in the Guard and Reserve. And it states employer support of the Guard and Reserve presents this Above and Beyond Award to King County, Washington, presented on behalf of the men and women of the National Guard and Reserve Forces for outstanding service and continuing support to the national defense. And each and every one of you that are in the Guard and Reserve out there, you do so much more than people even begin to imagine. So congratulations for this.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Phil, and thank you. I know Michelle can't be here, but I want to thank Michelle as well for the Freedom Award nomination. And on behalf of the county executive and our entire leadership team, it's just to express how honored and grateful we are to be even considered for this award. As an employer, one of the largest in the state, we feel it is our duty to look at how we can help those who serve our nation by accessing rewarding careers in our community. Not only because we feel it is the right thing to do, and not only because we know that those in the armed services bring with them unique skills, ideas, and perspectives, but also because we know these individuals have an overwhelming sense of service. And we want that here in King County. King County is committed to supporting both our Guard and Reserve employees and also their families, some of whom are here today. Executive Constantine signed the Guard and Reserve Statement of Support to memorialize this commitment and our support to each of you. So I want to thank you for recognizing this support. Thank you for your nomination, and thank you for what you all do for our nation and what you do here in King County. Thank you very much. Since I have the floor, we're going to move now to our presentation of challenge coins. And if I can just take a moment to say a few words here, it is really my privilege to be here today on behalf of the executive as we honor and recognize 89 employees who currently serve in the Guard, Reserve, or other federal organization. It's fitting we're recognizing these individuals as we approach Veterans Day, a time where we pause to think about the sacrifices that so many have made, and the sacrifices made by those who continue to serve to protect our freedoms and everything we hold dear. What I think is so remarkable is that the employees we are recognizing today not only choose to serve their country, but also choose to serve their community as civilians here at King County. The perspectives and experiences that you bring to our government are unique and invaluable, and the county and the departments in which you work are richer for your contributions and for your service. To celebrate your outstanding professional achievements, it is my pleasure to present each of you with the county's Challenge Coin. I also know that many of our employees who also serve in the Guard and Reserve are employed in mission-critical county operations, serving our residents throughout the county. And they're not able to join us today. But for those who can't be here, we will make sure that their coin is sent to their department and presented to them as well. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge that Councilmember Reagan Dunn was supposed to join us today, but as Phil referenced earlier, we are in the final throes of the county biennial budget process, and so he is across the way, I'm sure working very closely with his colleagues on the final stages of the budget, but I did want to acknowledge that he was going to join us today and help in presenting these coins. I'd like to ask our FMD Director, Tony Wright, retired Army Colonel Tony Wright that is, to join me, as well as our new Director of the Department of Community and Human Services, former Army Captain Leo Floor, to assist me in presenting these coins today. Thank you. You're going to go through that one.
Thanks. All right, for those of you attending today who are Guard and Reserve members, please stand up. You should have a name tag that looks like this. Come on forward. I will say your name, and then we'll do the coin presentation. Jason Ankney.
Thank you very much for your service. Appreciate it, sir.
Brad Bales.
Thank you very much.
Donald Moen.
Thank you very much. We're going to take a picture right now.
Brett Davis.
Mr. Davis, thank you very much.
David Vincent.
David, thank you very much for your service.
Zane McCraw.
Mr. McCraw, thank you very much.
Susan Densmore.
Thank you, Susan, thank you very much for your service.
Elizabeth Inglese.
Fan club.
Annalisa Mai.
Oh, Lisa, thank you very much for your service.
William Blees.
Mr. Blees, thank you very much.
Victoria Tobin.
Hi, Victoria, thank you.
Cynthia Hunter.
Cynthia, thank you.
Ryan Nelson.
Mr. Nelson, thank you very much.
John Polka.
John, fan club, all right.
Kevin Haptenstall.
Thank you.
Ahmed Ahmed.
Thank you very much.
Eric Campbell.
Lieutenant, thank you very much.
Kyle Crane.
Mr. Crane, thank you very much.
Jeremiah Ashley.
Mr. Asher, excuse me, I'm sorry. Thank you very much.
Nicholas Williams.
Thank you.
Ernesto Pobre.
Ernesto, thank you.
William Pola. Go without getting a point, thank you.
MC is always on purpose. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much.
So let's do the group photo.
Oh yeah, let's do that. So for all of those of you who got a coin, if you're set back down, please come back up. We're going to do a quick group photo.
Okay, one, two, three. Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
So as we wrap things up, I wanted to take, again, an opportunity to thank those of you on this planning committee who helped put this thing together today. A round of applause. And I especially wanted to thank Susan Novetsky, who honchoed us all, got us all together, and was really drove this home. And as we spoke of earlier, one of the few, if only, organizations that has done something like this for the whole group, as it were. Susan, you wanted to say a few words? She told me that she wanted to say a few words.
I didn't give you the signal. So, thank you all for being here. And I am the county's Vets for Hire program manager, and we have been committed to hiring more veterans and those in the Guard and Reserve. And I'm so pleased to say that since we've begun having this program, the percentage of people that we are hiring who are veterans or in the Guard or Reserve is increasing. It was, in terms of the whole, all of our hires that we were making, less than 2% were coming from veterans or Guard Reserve. Now we are up to 6%, 6.3%, and we've been holding there for 3 years now. And it's a big increase. So I'm just so excited to share that information with you. And we are going to continue having funding while the levy is here providing us with some funds. And we employ 16 veterans, Guard, or Reserve members into learning opportunities each year. So if any of you can create an opportunity, please come see me. We can help defer some of the costs of their wages through the levy fund. But anyways, thank you all, and thank you to the families who support these people who serve.
Thank you, Susan. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's ceremony. No? What do we have left? Did I miss some folks?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We have Tony and
Oh, all right.
Leo.
I'm sorry. Tony and Leo, you guys, where are we at? There we are.
I thought I was getting away.
No.
So,
Thank you, sir.
Good. No
Yeah.
worries. So I started off a long time ago as a guardsman, before I decided that running 2 careers was too hard and I could just focus on one, so I went on active duty. But and that's not entirely a joke. It is hard to be a reservist. I've worked with them throughout my career. I've dealt with them. I've had them side by side with me under fire in lots of really stupid places. And it is a tough thing balancing 2 careers at the same time. And I have my utmost respect for that. When I was a guardsman, I was trying to go to college, wasn't doing real well, but I had a drill and I wanted to take an exam early. So I went to my professor, I said, hey, I want to take an exam early. He says, I don't believe in the military. You can have a 0 or you can show up. Fortunately, the school president was a retired Army officer. So I went and talked to him, and he rather quickly overruled that professor. But that's an example. You can have a climate that doesn't buy into what all of you do every day. And But as that happens, we all work together, communicate, and fix those problems in case we run into anybody like my old economics professor. I don't see that here. I see a common view towards success, and I wanted to thank all of you for doing that. And I thank all of you for holding down 2 careers. It's a remarkable accomplishment. Leo.
So I'm just going to relish for a moment being a former lowly captain, following a colonel and breaking all the protocol. But as Tony just described, the teamwork that's necessary between the employer and the guards folks or the reserve folks, we know that families are the other team that's really important. And so we know we have some families in here today. My own, I was in a hooch in Afghanistan at the foot of the Hindu Kush Mountains when I actually got married, and my wife got married by proxy for me in California. It looked like a nice ceremony, and so that's just one example. But that difficulty, that burden gets repeated every day, multiple times a day by the families that support the folks who serve. So just another chance to echo what Casey said, to echo what Susan said, that we thank the families and we recognize the families, because that's the foundation. If we have an employer that supports, that's the way that we can really honor and set up for success the folks that are out there doing the work. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate that. All right, now we are done. And I would ask everyone to please rise for the retirement of the colors.
Honor guard. Retire the colors.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, this concludes today's ceremony. Please feel free to help yourself to some refreshments in the back. Thanks for attending.